Good afternoon, minions, and welcome to this very quick edition of the Collector Side. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. I have with me here two little things I wanted to share, just because. So I managed to get my hands on DC Essentials Flash and Superman. So now I'm a big fan of both of these characters. My all-time favorite character is Superman. That is why I'm very excited to open this figure. Now, I did get to play with them a little bit, and I have a couple of gripes with the figure. Overall, I would say not a bad addition to your collection. I think that for the price, it's okay. Basically, packaging, if you guys can see, we'll start with the Flash, very bright colors. Now, me personally, I like the bright colors. I just think they did a nice job. I like the little gold foil, DC Collectibles, 20 years, 1998 to 2018. I remember when they started the DC Collectibles line. So, they've come a long way, got a lot of cool stuff. Packaging is very simple, nothing fancy, but I really do. I like the colors. I like the bright red, it screams kind of 80s colors to me almost. I don't know if you guys, the Superpowers line is probably one of my, if not all-time favorite toy lines ever. And I always loved the colors on the plastic of those figures. There's something about the Kenner DC Superpowers figures was just absolutely magical. Nothing can compare to that, in my opinion. It was such a unique toy line, and it's a shame it only had a limited run. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of that Flash for some reason. I have my gripes, and I will get into that. But as far as the packaging, it's okay. Nothing fancy. I like that also, like, the price point's pretty reasonable. I think this was like $22.99, so not too bad. My only gripe for $22.99 is that, and let's take Flash out of the box first, he doesn't come with anything else. For $22.99, it's kind of weak. He doesn't come with anything else. But as far as the figure goes, it's not a bad figure, but if you can see here, just the proportions and everything, like the build of the body, it's a really bizarre anatomical construction, I gotta say. It does not make sense to me. It's very Michael Turner, almost. And I love Michael Turner as an awesome artist, but this is just, I don't know, something about this is just, it's wrong to me. Just if you look at the way he's just built anatomically. I don't know, something about it. The torso is way too thin. The arms are way too beefy. And also, they basically use the same body for pretty much every single figure. The mold looks identical between Flash and Superman. Now, Flash, I believe, is a little bit shorter than Superman for the most part. But also the other thing is that the Flash, he should have beefier legs as a runner, and he doesn't. He has the same legs as Superman. Same legs as Batman. I mean, all these figures, the body construction is basically the same. And I can understand why DC would do that. They're basically trying to keep their costs down, keep the tooling expenses low. But it's not working. It looks goofy to me. Now, as far as articulation goes, shoulders, ball joints in the shoulders goes back about that much. Obviously, full rotation. It's all standard stuff. It's got upper bicep swivel here. It's got a double jointed elbow. He's got a nice wrist peg. You can do a nice flex, but look how beefy that is. It's so weird, isn't it? It's just huge. It's a huge arm. And it doesn't look right to me, right? It doesn't look awkward. It looks like he's got this giant forearm. And I don't know, it's just something about it. It's very weird. It's really weird. It just doesn't look right to me, and that's, I guess, what bothers me the most. Now, I do like the fact that there's some nice deep colors here for all the joint pins and stuff, so it blends in nicely to the body, nothing fancy. Also, what I do like about this is you only see the inner hinge of the ball joint that attaches inside the torso. You only see it when the arm is open like that. On the top, you don't really see it. They did a nice job covering that up. You really don't get a lot of visibility on that. Color-wise, it's excellent. That I will give it. It's bright, and I love that it's a superhero color. It's not a realistic color. It's not a dark red. It's not it's a bright, vibrant, comic book-looking color. And range of motion, as you can see here, is very good. only goes back about that far, but that's fine. Ab crunch down all the way back about that far. Head all the way. Head looks up all the way. And then that's where it kind of gets a little funky. So now posing wise, like, I mean, I can try to put him in a little bit more of a like a runner starting pose. I guess you can kind of say, like, you know, he can do some rather interesting positions based on how flexible he is, but it's not that great. I'm gonna do like a kind of a runner start position here. One hand down, looking up, hand down. I'll angle the camera down like this so you can kind of see it, sort of. And let's do this. We're gonna position that this so you can kind of see it down this way. So that's kind of cool. I will give it that. So, but that, I mean, that's a pretty decent pose. Let me turn this back up here so you can see better. Kind of have him bent over like that. It's all right, you know. But that's, I mean, he's going to be running. You know, he's kind of like, I guess, you know, you can get some pretty cool sort of a running pose, like. You know, it's pretty dynamic looking. Magical Flash is significantly better as far as articulation goes, and also I think DC Universe Classics Flash is significantly better. See, now one thing I do like when it comes to DC Collectibles figures, I like the comic book styling that they do. That's something that I think nobody has been able to really beat just yet, except DC Universe Classics and the DC Multiverse lines have come close. Not Multiverse, I should say, but Universe Classics. When the whole Universe Classics series, all of those figures were excellent, in my opinion. Some of the best figures from DC in modern history since Superpowers. You know, they were all around excellent figures. Bravo, Four Horsemen for amazing work on that, because they really are a magical line of figures. It's just something that, like, you know, every collector who has those figures loves them to death. You know, the colors and stuff are really, you know, I like the color scheme. I like the paint applications. It's simple. There's nothing fancy here. But again, like, articulation wise, I think is okay. However, the proportions of the body are totally wackadoo. You know, it's just, he's humongous. He's too beefy. And the same for Superman. You really don't get that much of a variation of body type with Superman. And while the colors are nice, I don't like their decision for the trunks. I feel like they really just, hang on a second, drop the ball on those Superman trunks. Now, I kind of wouldn't have had a problem if they just left this all blue. I think it would have looked better if they left the legs blue and just left his underpants to be his underpants. But as you can see, it's pretty it's like the same body. The head sculpt is kind of mediocre. You know, there's too much of a gap in the back of the head to the neck. Now, I know that that's so he can do a flying pose, and I get that. I don't like that they have one wide open hand and one closed fist. I think that is totally bizarre. I think they should have given us an alternate pair of hands. You know, really, it wouldn't kill them to do that. But if you're posing him, you know, I mean, Superman, he's got some good poses. You know, as you can see. Now, me personally, I like to kind of angle the leg a little down, center the knee. You know, something like that. Kind of straighten them out. You know, something like this. If you want to go with classic classic comic pose, you know, something like that. You know, it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. But you know, I'm a big Superman fan. So right here, I have a couple things. I've got the NECA Christopher Reeve Superman, which is just. I've got the Multiverse Superman here. Now, this is pretty impressive. I got to say, for Mattel, you know, I'll show you what this guy can do. He's got I forget what they call it, but on the box, it was some sort of like realistic motion enhancement articulation system of some sort, where like he's kind of like hyper articulated to do some pretty fancy superhero landing type poses. And I'm going to do one right here just to sort of show you that he can actually do it. And it's a pretty cool pose. I mean, I'm impressed that he's able to do this. But he is without any issues. Get kind of this awesome superhero landing. And that's pretty cool for Mattel to have done that. You know, face is terrible, but you know, it is what it is. But there's some really great articulation on this Multiverse Superman. But you know, as far as the coloring goes, I mean, Essential Superman is beautiful in terms of the color, the paint application. You know, the paint application on the face is a little weak. But as far as the coloring, I just love the colors. It screams classic Superman to me. And that's one thing I really like, and probably the saving grace of the figure is the coloring of the figure itself. The very classic colors, classic comic, classic Superman. Even though the arms are freakishly long and big and disproportionate to the torso. I mean, I think it's so weird that these guys are just so beefy. You know, if you look at him side by side, foot to foot with Superman from Multiverse, you can kind of see it. You know, Essentials is much bigger. I like the Superman S on the cape, missed that on him. And, you know, we've got over here, of course, NECA's Christopher Reeve Superman, which can also, in and of itself, do quite a nice array of poses on this particular figure. You just have to get the angles right. But when you do, you're very happy with it. At least I am. And this is an authentic Toys R Us, you know, this is an authentic Toys R Us Christopher Reeve Superman. So I'm just trying to straighten the foot. There we go. And I love, of course, you know, if you guys remember the little kind of arms behind him turn thing. You know. Anyway, but you know, this figure to me is just absolutely gorgeous. You know, the articulation's a little but in terms of what it is, it's I love it. Just because also it's Christopher Reeve and he's my Superman, always will be. Base, standing like so. And there he is. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. So we're back to this Superman. Oh boy. You know, I can understand wanting to pick these figures up and add them to your collection. You know, it's one. I mean, you know, it's kind of like it's one of those things. If you start collecting the line, you're kind of sucked into the line just for the sake of collecting all the different characters. I like that they're going with classic looks. I will be picking up the Cyborg Superman just because I love that Cyborg Superman. I think it's one of the best inventions that they did under Reign of Superman to create Cyborg. Just super awesome. Really love the character, love the idea, and I'll be picking him up. But aside from that, you know, not bad. I've seen worse come out of DC Collectibles, but one thing that DC Collectibles just to me always has a problem with is getting that articulation down, getting the body type down. And that's something they really need to try to work on. These joints in the feet there, you know, it's kind of goofy looking. Now it adds for a nice range of motion, and the figure itself has nice range of motion and nice articulation. So that, to me, it's not something that there's necessarily a problem with. He wants a hug, but it could be better. I think my biggest problem falls within the body styling of it. It doesn't look right to me, and I think that, I don't know, it's just something about it, right? Something about it just bothers. It doesn't look right. Shoulders, maybe it's the shoulders are just too massive. The shoulders shouldn't be as low as the pectoral muscles. They just shouldn't. They should be, the shoulders should be kind of riding up, and like, if here's the chest and the figure, and I'm just gonna, forgive me, I'm gonna draw that real quick. The shoulders should kind of be coming down, almost like, above the pectoral muscles. They shouldn't be going that far down. And then you have the rib cage coming through here, and you got everything else going down to the waist. But you got the pectoral muscles and the shoulders and the bicep, kind of like, they should be, it's a little bit more like it, and then you have the neck. Forgive me. Just had to do this for a second. Who knows? But I mean, it's still, it just seems a little awkward to me. I don't know. I'm not sure. And also the head. It's just, I don't know. It's something about it. It's right. It's something about it. It just looks, something not quite right about the whole thing. Maybe it's just my imagination, but it's like, I don't know, the underpants bother me, the arms are too giant. And I feel like legs are too massive. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Something about it. I don't know. But anyway, that's enough. That's enough. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you next time. Subscribe to my damn channel. Just subscribe to it. You want to. Talk to you guys later. Have fun. Keep calm. Pose on. Stay collecting. Stay happy. Yeah. Take care.